Stories have been a really important part of me since way back. I remember one of my favorite classes when I was in primary was literature class, where Miss Thomas and the rest of the class took turns reading sentences out of a book out loud. I've read, watched, and listened to a lot of stories, from movies, books, anime, to even stories about my friends. Stories have really helped me grow in growing up, and I believe a major part of who I am was built through the stories that I have consumed. As I watched and read a lot, I naturally encountered good and bad stories, but this video is dedicated to one of the stories that has really helped me and shifted my understanding of myself as well as my views on success and achievement. Blue Lock is a story where the top 300 high school strikers from all over Japan are gathered. This is to produce one striker that is able to take Japan to the world stage and bring them home the World Cup trophy. Now, I've read a lot of sports manga, a lot. By a lot, I mean only one, and that's Haikyuu. But what I find interesting about both of these series is that both of them are polar opposites. They both have the same goal of victory, but how they are able to achieve that victory is vastly different. Haikyuu is the story that focuses on the individual's roles within the team, and it highlights the importance of victory through teamwork. Blue Lock, on the other hand, focuses on the individual itself and how their interactions affect their way to victory. If you look at Karasuno, you see a team, but if you look at the characters of Blue Lock within a match, you see individuals, each with their own unique talents and strengths. But honestly, I haven't watched or read Haikyuu in a really long time, so please take my words as a grain of salt. But like all wonderful stories, Blue Lock entails the journey of Isagi Youichi into winning Blue Lock and bringing the World Cup trophy back to Japan. Not only would Japan win the World Cup, but in doing so, hoping to cause the evolution of Japanese football. So we are told why Isagi is going through this journey. Furthermore, we see the end game of Blue Lock and what's beyond that. We see the bigger picture of Blue Lock. But what is beyond that? What is something that encapsulates all of the things above, from the beginning to the end, to the events that proceed within the middle, as well as the cause and effects that are produced by the characters within the story? All of these questions can be simplified into one question. What is Blue Lock's message? To answer that, we must look at the protagonist that the story created, the character that embodies the philosophy of Blue Lock, which is none other than Isagi Youichi. To tell the story of Blue Lock is to tell the story of Isagi as we go through the story alongside him, witnessing his failures as well as his best moments and everything in between. What I appreciate about Blue Lock is that lessons within aren't implied, but they are explicitly said. Ego Jinpachi, the man behind the Blue Lock project, acts as a mentor within the story, and Isagi acts as the student. Not only are we given insight towards the thoughts of each character, but Blue Lock provides an explanation as to why things are like that, instead of leaving the audience in the dark. Isagi Youichi learns about a lot of things as he goes through Blue Lock, but the thing that I want to point out is his value. The value that he develops under the tutelage of Ego. As I reread the manga, I realized a black swan. Isagi was like that because he chose to be like that, not because of the choice of others, or through random circumstances, but he became the golden child of Blue Lock because he chose to be it. This sounds obvious, but let me explain. All of us go through life, and as we go through our life, we inevitably encounter problems and obstacles along the way. This includes Isagi. But what Isagi does differently is that he doesn't look at these obstacles as problems, but more as challenges that needs to be passed in order to get what he wants. With this order of thinking, he's able to not only solve the problem in front of him, but to grow above it and become stronger as a result. Kaiser says this himself, that no matter how many obstacles he puts before Isagi, he's always able to pick himself back up and to get past them every time. I don't want to focus on the result of his actions, but I want you guys to notice is his mental state throughout these obstacles, or whenever he encounters an obstacle. The past and the future doesn't exist for him within a match. It's only him, the ball, his teammates, as well as his opponents. What runs through his mind isn't what would happen if he loses, or if he wins. What runs through his mind is how to win. Nothing more and nothing less. When he was thoroughly crushed by the world players, his reaction wasn't of despair or hatred, but it was excitement and a desire to possess the abilities that would allow him to stand on par with them. When he couldn't get Baro to work with him against Ryo's team, he somehow was able to turn that into an advantage and use that to gain the upper hand. His team was nearly crushed by the Wanima twins, but he still held the strong belief that victory is possible, even though their team had a massive disadvantage with their plan getting leaked. Every time he is backed against a corner, he somehow was able to rise back up. It doesn't make sense. Who thinks like that? Like, seriously, who is able to do that? How is he able to do that? Why and what made him be able to think like this? The answer to that is simple. It's because he wants to win. That's it. Nothing complicated. This guy just really wants to win. But this is only half of the answer. The other half is his desire to get what he wants. In other words, his ego of wanting victory. His desire to change for the sake of what he wants is there. His desire to change is strong. To change so that he may get what he dreams of. To change. That is Isagi's character. He is a character of change whenever it is appropriate. He is fluid. He doesn't overthink, nor does he underthink. He just thinks to the correct amount and just does it. He has a dream, and he has the desire to change so that he may turn that dream into a reality. That's why I believe that one of the reasons his aura is of a puzzle piece is that because there are many puzzle pieces out there, but it takes a lot to form one picture. One itself doesn't contain much, but when you put it together, there's some meaning behind it. In the manga, you can see Isagi playing puzzles, and yeah, and I interpret that as a symbol of Isagi changing and evolving. He mixes and matches pieces together to see which one would fit. He experiments, he observes, and he implements. If the puzzle pieces that he's using don't fit, then he dares to change them. Isagi dares to change who he is for the sake of winning. He has the desire to change for the sake of achieving his goals. This is what he wants. This is his ego. And this is why I believe that Isagi would come out on top. It's because he wins for himself, not to feel superior, not for anybody else, and not to fulfill a desire. But it's because he purely wants to win. Honestly, like Isagi put it, ego is probably the thing that allows us to do what we want.
Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe and smash that like button. But yeah, yeah, it's finally done. It's finally done. Yeah, thank you.